Okay, so I've mentioned this link down in the chat. Now, the way to connect to these challenges is okay, let's say these are the different war games. Okay, so they suggest that you start with Bandit, the one known as Bandit. So you go to this page, okay, and you'll need to use SSH to make this connection. Again, it's connecting is very straightforward. All you need to do is so now you start from level 0. Okay, and it's telling you all the details you need to be able to log in. So the host to which you need to connect is this bandit.labs.overthewire.org. I'll just copy this. Username is bandit0, password is bandit0 for the first level of this challenge. Okay, so the way to connect is SSH, and then you write the username, which is bandit0 in this case, at the host name which we copied earlier. Now they also mention that it is not on the default port, it is on port 2220. The default port for SSH is different. And do you know what the default port is for SSH? That is the complete command. Yes, it's 22. So in case SSH is not running on the default port, you need to explicitly specify the port. So you enter this command, it'll take a moment to connect. Okay, so we have connected to the server and we need to enter the password before we can log in. Yeah. So we are now logged in as this user, bandit0 at hostname, which is bandit. Now, again, this is like a CTF where you need to solve some particular challenge and get the password for the next level. Like I mentioned, again, the best thing here is you don't have to set up anything, you don't have to download anything, just log in, just connect and start working on it. So now what we're going to do is we can take a look at this website. It is going to give you how you can go from one level to the other. It's going to give you some information. Okay, so it says the password for the next level is stored in a file called readme located in the home directory. Use the password to log into bandit1. Okay, let's see what files are present here. So now I need to just see the output of this file, and this is the password for level 1. So they've kept it simple for in the beginning, but things get a little more complicated as we move ahead. So this is level 1 password. Copy this, and you'll need to and log into SSH again. You can't just switch user, that functionality is disabled. Okay, sometimes this connection can be a little bit slow. So we use the password that we'd found previously and logged in. Okay, now for level 1, again let's take a look at what the website says in order to go to level 2. So the password for the next level is stored in a file called just hyphen located in the home directory. If you'd like, what you can do is you can just fire up your Linux systems and do this along with me as I work on it in class here. So let's see what we have in this directory. So it's just one entry, it's just hyphen. Now if you just do cat hyphen, that is not going to work. So what can we do here? What should we do? How do we read this file? We can't read it using cat directly. CD where? This is a file, it's not a directory. You can't CD into it. You can also, what you can do is you can do this alongside. You can just log in on using SSH onto that system and you can solve these in class itself. So no ideas here. Okay. So see, now of course when solving these challenges, you will come across situations where you haven't seen these things before, or you haven't come across such situations before. So in that case, one thing you can do is you can always Google stuff. So dashed file names, and of course you can go to the link that they specify. So you can try reading that. Now I'll tell you what to do in this case. One option that you have, okay, look at the pwd present, the working directory. What you can do is you can either say cat home bandit1 hyphen. Either you can do this, or you can also do cat dot slash hyphen. Dot represents the current directory, single dot. Double dot represents parent directory, single dot represents current directory. So in the current directory, we have this file called simply hyphen or dash, whatever you want to call it, and we want to see its contents. So you can use both of these ways to get this password. So let me just copy this, exit, log into the next level now. You are on level 1. Now to go to level 2. Okay, so we are on level 2 now. Let's again take a look, see what we need to do again. Okay, so it says that the password for the next level is stored in a file called spaces in this file name located in the home directory. Okay, so let me check. Now we have something. When you ls, you see spaces in the file name. Ls hyphen l shows you that it's just one file and not multiple files, not four different files. So if you want to read the contents in this case, what would you do? How would you specify this file along with the cat command? Now this has spaces, which is unusual for a file to have in its name, especially in Linux. No? Okay, see, one thing you can do is you can see cat, copy this. You can include it within single quotes. So you get the password. Now, of course, if you try this directly, cat and this whole thing, it's not going to give you the required output because otherwise it's going to think it's just four different files, four separate files. This is one way. Can anyone suggest me any other way to do this? There is one other way to see the contents of this file. Yeah, see, there is a concept known as escape sequences or escape characters. So normally a space is a delimiter. So it separates two different parameters. Like for example, the command and the parameter for that command are separated with a space. So if you do something like this, spaces in this file name, it's going to think that these are four different parameters that you're specifying, because space is taken as a separator. But what if you could tell the system that you should ignore this space and not treat it like a separator, just treat it like any other normal character? So what you could do is, in order to tell the system to ignore that, you can include another parameter in this space. In this case, you need to ignore this space, just consider it like any other character. It's not acting as a delimiter, it's not acting like a space normally, it's just acting like any other character. So before every space, if I were to include this, now if I cat it will work. And of course, if I'm just using cat, just use cat s, and since there is nothing else, I can just tab it and it will automatically add this, and I can just simply run it. Now I can copy this, again exit. So for level 3, now it says the password for the next level is stored in a hidden file in the in here directory. Okay. If I perform an ls, I'll see that there is a directory name in here. But if I perform an ls, I won't see the file. So how do you look for hidden files using ls? ls hyphen a. That is correct. So I can see that there is a file known as .hidden, and if I want to see this contains, just cat .hidden, and I get the password. Copy it, exit again. Okay. So it says that the password for the next level is stored in the only human readable file in the in here directory. Okay, let's see. Okay, there is a directory called in here. Let's change to that. Let's see what we have. We have 9 different files. Okay, Now, normally, if you were to look through these things, you would have to cat all of these files and look through the individual inputs and figure out. But that is not a good way to do this. Uh, that is not an efficient way to solve this problem. So, what command can I use here in order to find out what type of files these are that may give me some benefit? And let me just see the file types without having to individually see the output for every file. No? Okay. See, when you are taking a look at these challenges, you can also see that they mention a few commands that you can use to solve this level. Commands that could be helpful for working on these challenges. Now, there is a command called file. What this command does is it tells you what kind of file you are looking at. So what I can simply do is use the file command. And okay, now another thing to keep in mind is all of these files are starting with dashes. So I need to use dot slash, then hyphen or dash file, and I can simply use an asterisk. So it will show me the details for all the files. So file dot slash file and the file name. Now I want to look at the data for all files. So dot slash hyphen file, and I use an asterisk so it will consider all the files. And if you take a look here, you'll see that out of these 10 files, 9 file types have been classified as data, and one file type and one file is ASCII text. So this is what we are looking for. Let's just cat it out. File 07, and it has a password. Okay, so this is how we get the password for this next level. Now again exit Bandit 5, and you can see that we have logged in as Bandit 5. Again, if I go here, okay, now it says that the password is stored in a file somewhere in the in here directory and has all of the following properties. So it's human readable, it is 133 bytes in size, and it's not executable. Okay, so let's see. Okay, indeed the in here directory is present. If you go there, you'll see that there are 19, okay, there are 20 different directories. And if I go to any one of these, let's say 05, every directory has about 5 to 10 files in it. So you could have like up to 200 files here. You're definitely not going to go through each and every single file and see whether you can find the password or not. So here again we can make use of the find command. And what parameters should I use along with this? Based on this given information, it clearly mentions that the file is exactly 130, sorry, 1033 bytes in size. So we can use that with find. We can use, okay, one thing is we need to specify where to find. So in here directory itself, so find dot. Now I mentioned single dot represents current directory. Now I need to look for files with a particular size. So hyphen size is the option. That's 10333 bytes. So I need to specify the C character to ensure that it considers these file sizes as bytes. And the search result gives us one file. I can now cat this, and it gives you the answer. This is the required password for level 6. Okay, so that's it for this session. We'll continue in the next session. If you have